My name is Millie McGowan. I'm from the Nipmuc Nation, the Natick band. My native name is Crescent Moon. I am a descendant of the Christian Indians that were brought here back in 1675 as a result of the conflict with King Phillips, a Metacon, and King Phillips was a brother from the Wampanoag Nation who got tired of the English and taken away the land, and he chose to fight the English and try to regain the land. My ancestors became Christians, and they chose not to participate in the war because they had adapted the Christian way of life. And but during the King Phillips conflict, all the Christian Indians from the 13 villages that had been founded by John Eliot were brought into Natick, and during October of 1675, the Mass Bay Conley wrote a proclamation that rounded all the Christian Indians up and removed them from Natick. My ancestors were brought under musket guard and in chains from Natick by horse cart to the upper basin of Newton on the Charles River, and they were brought by boats out here to Deer Island. On Deer Island, there was nothing for them. They were not allowed to take any food or utensils or their corn. They were not allowed to hunt here because they didn't have any weapons. The fishing that they had was limited to digging clams and quahogs out of the sand, and they depended upon a few good fishermen that would bring them fish from time to time. Out of the removal, there was probably between 500 to 1,000 people removed from the praying villages that were brought here to Deer Island, and between October 1675 and May of 1676, there was only about 100 people, or maybe a little more, that survived and were brought back to the mainland. There was no homes to return to because the English had burnt their homes and they had taken their property. These people that came here, they probably didn't have the dress that I have on today. It's made from the skin of the deer because they had adapted the dress of the English, and they wore the cotton and the black jackets and the hats at that time. And the men cut their hair, so they didn't have long hair. I'm sitting here today, and it's in the 40s, but believe me, it's very, very cold here. So if you can imagine what it's like here if there was snow and the hail and the wind and really not having any shelter, and the sickness that people endured and the starvation that they had, it was really a terrible time here for my ancestors. This spot that we're sitting on is the prospective spot for the Native American Memorial here. And the reason we chose this spot, after looking at many, many, many spots, is because it faces in the direction of Natick. And when we come here, we always want to be looking out towards whence we came, so we can always remember that journey. And as we look today here out over the ocean, we see many houses and the airplanes, but at that time there was nothing. And the town, right now, Deer Island is connected to the town of Winthrop. And the time that my ancestors were here, there was no connection. The only way you could get here was by boat, so you were really secluded on this island. This island has been changed so much because this island has been used for many different things. There was a fort here that was used during the Civil War. There was once a piggery here. It was used for a correctional facility for many, many years. And it was also a place where the Irish who were fleeing the potato famine in Ireland were brought here when they got sick. So it was used for hospital facilities because many of them they were so sick when they came here, and they also died out here too. The island has changed and it has been dug up, and now we're sitting here where we have man-made mountains that didn't exist, or man-made hills. We have a walkway. It faces the ocean, and we have, you know, a beautiful harbor to look into. We now have the eggs of the processing plant where the MWRA is using this to clean up the harbor and to use all the sewage to come through here, and they clean it up and they put it back into the ocean. Right now, as I'm looking out there, I'm watching the waves come here, and I'm looking how clear and beautiful it is. Deer Island is a very, very important place to me. Sometimes if I walk over here, I can feel the spirits that, and I believe they walk with me. And I think it's important that we all acknowledge that this is what's happening here, because for many, many years, nobody wanted to speak about what happened. This was a Holocaust. We hear about Holocaust happened in many other parts of the world in wars, but nobody speaks about the first Holocaust that happened here.